Yes. So the thing is, they burnt all the Jewish books and they've replaced them with Hebrew. And today, we think that these Jewish books, like the Mishnah and the Talmud, and they say similar things like the Hadith book. And many of these things are similar in the Mishnah and the Talmud. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
You don't? Yeah. So the thing is, many of these things are actually similar. Actually, the Sahih Bukhari is a copy of the Mishnah and the Talmud. Now the Quran manuscripts I even showed you last time, they were playing around with the manuscripts. Yes, it's only because the Muslims memorized the Quran. That's why it's about, look at this. Yeah, it turns around and says, let's have a look at what there's these strange things. These are similarly in the Talmud. The Prophet said you can't drink from green cups and you cannot drink from white cups. If there's any white cups in your house, throw them out right now.
Welcome everyone back to Endgame, and we have David as usual, who has another outstanding finding to share with everyone. So, David, how's it going?
Everything's going fine. Yeah, I do realize that a lot of your audience is from a Muslim background, and you're interviewing me specifically because I've studied the history of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, and many other religions. Yes?
Right.
And I've been watching things closely. You're on the media, whatever things come out, and whenever people show me things. Yes? Mm-hmm. So the thing is, at the moment, what we're seeing, yes, in the Islamic world, yes, that I've never seen this before. Yes, in the last 30, 40 years. I'm going to send you the pictures to show you what we actually see these days. Yeah, have you received it? Here is a video on YouTube. Yeah, it's what do you call it? Yeah, from August last year. Yes. Mm-hmm. Here we've got another video which is from July last year, and it shows yes. Mm-hmm. So now these things are they're started to become more open, more common, things like this. Yes.
Yeah.
Never saw these sort of things before. Yeah, I've never seen it. It's something new, and to be openly shown and openly addressed as an issue. Yes, by non-Muslims and Muslims as well. Yes, mm-hmm. I've got lots of friends in, let's say, Morocco, and in Kosovo, Albania, and many other places. And the thing is, these things are there now, and they're widely advertised. And the thing is, nobody seems to be addressing it. The world is laughing at Muslims. They see modern Islam, it's basically a joke. That's how they see it. Here's another one. Let me just show you. These things are going to probably become more common and more open. Now, I've sent you these things. People will find it offensive, but the thing is, if people do not confront this now, before it goes out of control. Yes. Yes. It is going to go out of control because the Muslims are sitting there, like like nothing's going on. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's good to mention where this actually came from.
Yeah. So the thing is, let's get straight to the point. For example, there is Sahih Bukhari. Like for example, you can go to Sunnah.com. Yes, and I'm going to send these things. No point in hiding them. Yes, it says the Prophet Muhammad married her. Yes, what do you call it? Yes, Hadith 5134 when she was 6 years old, and she entered his house when she was 9 years old. Yeah. Now many people are going to try justifying it, saying, "Hey, people got married young, even 100 years ago." Mm-hmm. Now the thing is, because I know Morocco pretty well, I know Algeria pretty well, I know Tunisia pretty well, I know India pretty well, I know Indonesia pretty well. Bangladesh pretty well. Like, for example, there's Indonesia. Many people will say they know Indonesia. I've been to Banda Aceh. Yes, I've been to Palembang. People don't even know where Palembang is. I've been to Bandung. I've been to Yogyakarta. I've been to Surabaya. I've been to Jakarta. Yes, so I've been to Bali. I've been many places throughout Indonesia. So it's not just one, and many, many villages and everything. And I talk to many people. Yes, and the thing is, for example, if there was going to be a girl, they used to wait till she's puberty. An average girl puberty, 13, 14 or 15, just 100 years ago. The boy would probably be about 17 or 18, something similar. Yes, or about 5 years difference, maximum up to 10 years difference. Like, for example, if she was 15, the boy would be maximum 25. But if there was cases of a lot more older men, there is no such thing as the girl was 6 years old. Now the thing is,
just before you continue, this hadith is a Sahih hadith, so meaning that it's the highest ranking in authenticity in the hadith. So it's like
all that is useless. Let me just be honest. Now I've raised my voice because people are laughing at your religion. Or let's see how many Muslims are going to take up this issue, because there is an answer for this. There's a totally simple answer. Now let's go through it. I'm just opening up Wikipedia. Yes, Hadith manuscripts. I've just opened up Hadith manuscripts. I've sent you this. So now there's incomplete manuscripts they're claiming. Yeah, that's in Holland. Yes, I just want to ask you a question. Yes, is there any incomplete biblical manuscripts in a country like Afghanistan? No. Incomplete biblical or biblical manuscripts in Uzbekistan? No. Biblical ancient original manuscripts in Indonesia? No. Biblical ancient manuscripts in Iran? No. What the hell is a so-called Islamic book called Hadith doing in Leiden? Yes, in their library, and they're saying, hey, it's over 1,000 years old. What's it doing there in Holland? All we know is that the people from Holland, they went to, many Muslim places, chopping off heads, kicking them around like footballs. And now people are trying to say these are Muslim hadiths. There is no evidence that these manuscripts are Muslims. Yes. Now let's have a look at this. There is now the next earliest is supposed to be, what do you call it? A manuscript book that was found in Turkey, claimed to have been found in Turkey. Yes. Now, many people don't even check anything about Turkey, but anybody who checks something about Turkey, do you know what they're going to find? What are you going to find? Istanbul was occupied by the British and the French. Now, when the British and the French occupied Istanbul and Turkey after World War I, they were there for 5 years. Now, what did they do? Yes, this is what they did. These are nice pictures that they took for the media, so they don't show it that bad. Yes, but the mullahs, the imams, they went around, to their houses confiscating books, replacing books. Yes, other imams, they executed them. I've sent you an execution picture. Yes, and then the soldiers, you'll see, they're wearing turbans. They're from India. Some of them are Sikhs, some of them are not. Now, I'm sending you other pictures. This is an Ottoman administrative building. All the libraries, all the palaces, everything were occupied by the British, the French, and other people from Europe. Yes, or they murdered people, just on the street, random stabbings with their guns had like a knife on the front. There's a picture there. Yeah, so this is the sort of stuff they were doing. Yeah, they dealt with all the manuscripts and everything, and people are trying to tell me those are Muslim manuscripts. Yeah, but that's outside the Hagia Sophia, or Muslims pronounce it Hagia Sophia. So this is the sort of things that was going on. So now, are you going to try and tell me, oh no, these are original manuscripts? I doubt it. Now let's have a look at a few others. Yeah. Then they say another one is the Al-Risalah manuscript, yeah, which is in the National Library of Cairo. Yes, I went through this last time. Yes, about Cairo. Yes, so now we've got manuscripts that are in the libraries that are in Cairo. Yes, and Quran manuscripts that are there. Yeah, and what these people did, let's just go through a basic example. They were going around raping people, stabbing people, killing people. You know what I mean, yeah? And then dumping Qurans, confiscating Hadith books. They basically replaced everything, yeah? So now, so that's Cairo. So now let's go through the next one, yeah? The next one of, what do you call it, Hadith books in Bulgaria, yeah? Sahih Bukhari complete, except book 65, yeah? It contains book 65 through 69, yeah? Oh, well, maybe not the oldest manuscript. Maybe it's not complete. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's supposed to be in Bulgaria. Bulgaria loves Muslims so much that in 1990, yeah, Bulgaria expelled as many Muslims as it can. Yeah, 1989. This is an example. Yeah, they expelled Muslims. Yeah, they'll say there was 360,000 of them. Those people have had children now. So there's now up to about 2 million Bulgarian Muslims who came. Oh yeah, they just said, get out. You know, everyone knows Ghazi Usman Pasha. Yes, Ghazi Usman Pasha and the Battle of Plevna. Yeah, it was a famous battle. Yes, what do you call it? Yes, where Muslims were getting massacred. They were burning Qurans and everything. Yes. In Bulgaria, yeah, 1870s, yeah, things like that. And of course, in European newspapers, they said the Muslims did atrocities too, known as the Bulgarian horrors. Yes, oh, they burnt all the Qurans, they burnt all the mosques, they burnt all the Qurans, they burnt everything. Oh, they raped women, they killed the children. Oh, these kids, they can't stay. You got to kill them. You can't let them survive. Oh, we found Sahih al-Bukhari. We'll let this survive here. Oh, we don't want the Qurans. We want the Sahih al-Bukhari to stay here. We like this book. We like this book. What the hell's going on? Do you think that book is genuine?
Obviously, they tampered with it.
Not just tampered with it. There is no evidence that it's a Muslim manuscript. It looks like it's invented. Totally invented. So now let's go to the next one. In Syria. In Damascus, yeah? And they're saying it's in the National Library. Yeah? What did the French do in Syria? Yes? The French invaded that place and they took over and ruled that place. What were they doing? Yeah? They were just raping people and doing other crazy things. That's all they were doing. France, yes, was involved in war crimes in Syria. Yes, it's known there. Yes. Yeah. What do you call it? I'm looking for it online. The Muslims should look through this. Yes. And they call it the Franco-Syrian War. There was many other things. They basically occupied the place. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, he was the Turkish general before the French arrived, or around that time that he had to withdraw. Yes. What do you call it? They called them rebels. No, it was just murders. They were just going around killing people. They've gone into, it's like somebody coming in your house and they're killing you. Yes. And what do you call it? Yes. And their aim was to divide. What was the French aim on the objective and strategy? Their aim in Syria, Lebanon, yes, and that area was to divide people. Yes. And there's many photographs of their disgusting atrocities against the Syrians. Yeah, so they wanted to divide people. So now when the French are there, what do you think happened with all the Islamic books? They were burning Qurans, they were doing this, that, everything. You can ask the Syrians themselves. And they've got nothing to say. They've got nothing good to say about the French. They'll say, yeah, these people came here. Yeah, they were chopping heads. Yeah, that's all they were doing. Yes? So how can people say that these are Muslim manuscripts? We cannot even turn around and say there's Muslim books like Tabari and what people call the fiqh or what people call the transmission. We don't even have any books anymore. You understand? In Christianity, it's the same. We don't even have any books anymore. The Inquisitions burnt all the books and they took the books and they replaced them. People have studied this. What do you think they were doing? They were burning people in Europe. Yes. So the thing is, they did this in Europe first, and now they've expanded to the Middle East. They started on the outside, and the Inquisitions were more in the Americas, and then they moved towards Europe, and they did more things. Let me show you what they did to the European manuscripts. That's why we cannot say that we've got any original biblical manuscripts. Yes? It's because they were burning things, and then they replaced them. Yeah? They went from door to door in Damascus and other places. Yes, and that's what they did. Let me just show you what they did. They can check this themselves. It's in my books anyway. In the book Crusades, yes, it mentions what they did in Europe. Yes, so let me just show you what they did. Like, for example, this is serious information. Yes, now the Jewish people, for example, yes, 90% of the Jewish people until the 18th century spoke Arabic for about 2,000 years. Yes, then the Inquisitions went, they banned the Arabic languages. They took all the Jewish Arabic books, whatever these books were, yes, then they replaced them. And today we've got Hebrew Bibles. How can we have Hebrew Bibles when the Jews themselves were speaking Arabic? Yes, and if people think I'm making it up, I've sent many links. People can check this and study it themselves. This is common information that people, even if you go to Israel and ask up to a quarter of the people or up to half and say, what language did your grandparents speak? They'll say Arabic. Yeah, they spoke Arabic in their synagogues too. Whatever a synagogue was in them days. Yes, it was their language. Yes, so the thing is, it makes no sense. Yes, so the thing is, they burnt all the Jewish books and they've replaced them with Hebrew. And today, we think that these Jewish books, like the Mishnah and the Talmud, and they say similar things like the Hadith book, and many of these things are similar in the Mishnah and the Talmud. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
Ah, you don't? Yeah, so the thing is, many of these things are actually similar. Actually, the Sahih Bukhari is a copy of the Mishnah and the Talmud. Yeah. Somebody has clearly copied them, yes, and just changed the name from Moses to Muhammad. Yes. It's actually shocking. So the thing is, it's because many people don't look at these things, but when you look at them, it's like when I started reading the Hadith books, I thought, hey, I already know this from places in the Mishnah and the Talmud, and I thought, hey, this is the same story. And then I thought, hey, who has copies of many of these Mishnahs and Talmuds? Believe it or not, they're in European museums and in Vatican museums, and they've told the Jewish people, hey, these are your ancestral books. Oh yeah, the people believe it because they don't check. Yes, so there is a similar problem in modern Islam. People are not checking where these manuscripts are coming from. We can go through the whole list. Like if anybody is going to say, there's a possibility that these hadith books in Bulgaria are genuine, just go to Kosovo and turn around and ask them. Just go and ask them. Or to the Muslims in Macedonia, because many of them ran from Bulgaria in the 1880s, 1890s, when these wars happened. So that their grandparents have taught them the history. Orally. Maybe it's not in many books because people didn't keep these things. Same like in India, many people will say there was a lot of atrocities that happened that the Muslims committed before they went to Pakistan. Yes, and in Pakistan you will not find this history, but you're going to find it amongst local Indians. But then Muslims in Pakistan will say, hey, a lot of atrocities were committed by Indians. Yes, and you will not find it in Indian history books. Yes, so it goes both ways. But these people thought, let's keep this hadith book here. Let's kill the children. Yes, so let's keep this. Is this a Muslim book that they've got in these museums?
Definitely a conspiracy.
Now, I'm going to send you what is actually written in the Talmud and the Mishnah. A few examples. So here is one. Yes. Hey, what the hell's going on here? This is in the Talmud.
Wow.
And the marriage contracts for each of these, the marriage and things like this. What is it? What is this talking about? But nobody has even checked where these manuscripts came from. What if the current Jewish people did not write these manuscripts and somebody put them there? You see? Yes.
Yeah. I definitely see it
now. Yes. Now the thing is, it's because many people have not checked. Where did these manuscripts come from? Because the thing is, it is not just modern Islam. It is modern Judaism that has the same problem. Yes, modern Christianity has these books, but they're smarter. They've removed these books now, and people don't follow them now. Nowadays, they focus on things like, you know, singing and dancing in churches, and you know, miraculous healings, and stories like faith in Christ. Christ shall save thee, my dear. Yeah, things like this. So they've shifted the focus. Yes, but the thing is, you know, nobody's asking where these manuscripts came from. Yes, and let's have a look at this. Yes, many of these Talmud manuscripts, because somebody's going to think, the Jews are behind this. Now the thing is, there's several different types of Jews. People don't realize, and Judaism and Christianity has changed. Yes, since the Quran was revealed. Yes, now let's see what it says. Unlike the previous printed editions of the Talmud, Bomberg, who the hell is Bomberg? Yes, largely uncensored. His career, he was working for the Vatican, and he got the Vatican's approval. Published this Talmud. Yeah, the Hebrew printing, yes, was suspicious, but because the Jews spoke Arabic, so of course it's going to be suspicious. You understand? And it's the Vatican who authorizes the printing and the publishing of these Talmuds. Yes.
Yeah.
The Vatican. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was the British and the French and the Vatican who organized the invasion of the Muslim lands. Many people don't know this. Yes? Let me just show you. Many people don't know this, but after the defeat of the Vatican by the Prophet Muhammad, yes, you will say, what are you talking about here? Yes, but it's because this history, they hid it. Because now the only history you've got of this Prophet Muhammad is these Hadith history books. Not just Sahih Bukhari, but Tabari, the rest of them. Who said they're Muslim books? There is no evidence that a Tabari even existed. I'm being serious to you. Go and look at the manuscripts. Then turn around and say, which museum is it in? Who opened this museum? Yes, who opened these museums, and how did these books get there? Let's just go, I'll go through a simple basic, you know, I already showed you this, but for the benefit of people who are listening, yeah, let me just show, you know, the Islamic and Arabic art museums and history museums, who opened them. Let's say in Cairo. Cairo is one of the main Islamic centers in the world. And, it has many people coming and learning and studying there from all over the world. And they teach them, you know, Islamic history, Hadith history, and everything. Yes? Mm-hmm. Cairo is one of the main places for the Sunni Muslims. Yes? So now, the thing is, many people don't know, but if anybody reads my books, I've shown evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that Russia was Muslim only 200 or 300 years ago, same like Turkey. Germany was Muslim 200-300 years ago, same like Turkey. Yes, and they used Arabic. So Arabic does not belong to Egypt. Arabic is Russian. German is Arabic. They've changed the languages. Yes, the evidence is in my books. It's too long to actually put here in this video, but let's go through this now. So here is an example. The concept of modern Arabic art needs to be deconstructed, means destroyed. This is what many people have turned around and said. This is in a book called Inventing Islamic Art. Many people have studied this. For example, yes, the idea of Arab art, yes, for the Middle East was first published in 1878 in Paris. It seemed like I'm going to invent something. I'm going to say the idea of the art of the planet Mars. Yes, and then I invent it, and then people go to the planet Mars and they find arts there. I invented it before they got there. So they invented something called Persian art, Turkish art, to separate the Muslims and Arab art, especially because from Paris, the nearest Muslims for them are the Persians, the Turks, and what we called Arabs today. These things did not exist. And then they already had Hadith manuscripts and everything else ready in their, you know, in their meetings, 1860s, 1850s, 1840s. Now, if you go through these committees, yes, who exactly opened up these museums? Yeah, you know, the Museum of Islamic Art, Arab Art, and Islamic History and everything, yeah? who are the people who are behind this? They say Khadib Ismail, he was their puppet. You know, we've just they conquered Egypt, and then they put their man in charge. And then the people who were behind the media campaign was Gabriel Charms and Arthur Ronay. Yeah. And based on a campaign with Victor Hugo or Jules Michelet. I don't see no Arabs here or Muslims. And what did they do? Yes, yeah, they invented the concept of Arab art in these so-called universal exhibitions. Oh, no Muslims were invited, and it had nothing to do with Muslims. So now these people are connected to the Jesuits, the Vatican, the Masons, whoever they are. Yes, the British, the French. So now I've sent you the next page. Yeah. So now these, what do you call it? Yes. So they wanted to preserve Arab documents or Arab art or Muslim documents or Muslim art. And then they created the Arab Museum in Cairo. Who created it? Augustus Salzman and his boys. Of course, for him to go from France, he must have taken, for that time's money, millions of dollars. So now, what do you call it? They open it, and he's with Salzman. What do you call it? And Salzman, the Waqf or whatever, yes, of the administration was Franz Julius. Who the hell are these guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah, valuable Islamic artifacts, you know, like Hadith books, Quran manuscripts, everything. They're collecting these things in the 1870s, 1880s. Excuse me? Excuse me?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, any of these Hadith books or anything in Egypt, in any of these museums or anywhere, or these so-called Arab art or Quranic writing art or anything, can we even claim anything is genuine?
They planned and plotted this.
Yes,
wow.
They put these things there. And then when they gave independence, independence was new administration. Nobody has checked. After independence, yes, these museums had local Muslim workers, but nothing changed. They didn't, and people didn't check the manuscripts. Nobody's checked them. Nobody's questioning them. I'm probably one of the first few vocal people to say, hey, wake up. Yeah, have a look at this. If the British have invaded, then why is, let's say, you know, these Waqf and museums under French-British dual control? Yes? And they read what it says. They installed a small collection of objects, yeah, in the Fatimid mosque. Yeah? Wait a minute. They put these objects there. Then they say they collected remains from every monument. Yeah, every monument, yeah, in Egypt. They went everywhere. Who are these people? You understand? And then after independence, of course, the Muslims took over. Yes? Yeah, so they put these books there because they couldn't defeat Islam. So now people are going to say, without these books, we don't have Islamic history. Well, the fact is, you don't. You don't know who the Prophet Muhammad was. You don't know where he lived. You don't know what he did. You don't know what his Sunnah is. Now, this is why I noticed that the original things that the Muslims managed to preserve, the things that they did preserve, yes, so far, is that they preserved the Quran. This is one. Yes, and the other thing is they preserved the original Sunnah. The original Sunnah is when you look at, for example, I was showing, if you, you know, some people how some of the old mosques work that have not been modified. For example, Ulu Jami in Bursa, in Turkey. Yes, Ulu Jami, this Jami in Turkey, it still has kept many old styles and old fashions that people don't really know what was the function or a purpose of a mosque or how they used to operate before. Today, if you go to the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Quds, yes, yeah, the Muslims have started calling it Jerusalem. Well done. Colonial puppets gave this name, and now the Muslims are using it. Now, Ulu Jami on the outside, yes, looks like a Gothic cathedral. On the inside, it looks like a Gothic cathedral too. Yes, but now people don't know what Islam was before. That's why now many Muslims can't even get married. They're going online. It's becoming a joke, the new type of system. Let me show you what it's like inside this mosque. Now, I've shown you there, and you'll see that there's an octagon base there, an octagon shape for water. Same like the Dome of Rock, or what Muslims call Al-Sahra Mosque. And you will see there's a man there, there's a woman right behind him, the picture. And then look towards the left-hand side of the picture I've sent you. There is a man doing prayer there. In Turkish, they say namaz. Yes, yeah. And then things like this. You can see men and women are walking around in the same building. Excuse me. I will explain to you how these original mosques worked in Europe. And why are they the shape of Gothic cathedrals? Because Gothic cathedrals were mosques. Somebody will say, oh, no, I don't understand. Then you can read my books. I don't have time to explain this to many people. So now, how did this original Islam mosque system work? The men prayed separately, the women prayed separately. They sat down, a mosque was like a community center. Let me send you pictures now. This is, they do this today in Bursa. Bursa is a very religious town in Turkey, if anybody goes there. Yes, they welcomed many Syrian refugees. Yes, like here you'll see a young man, he's talking to women, this, that. Yeah, it's because they're not doing what Muslims will call haram, or something that causes harm. The English word harm comes from the word haram. They're not causing harm because they're talking in public. Yeah, this is how Muslims used to do their dating in the past. They met each other in society. Now the functions of the mosque is now half. Now you will notice that many Muslims can't even get married. They go online. They don't even know any females or anything. And they won't dare to talk to the female because now somebody in the family is going to start a fight. So, or other things. That's why there's a huge percentage of Muslims who are not married. Yes. But this was the system of Islam before. Yes. But this system is, it's basically dead. Yes. The thing is, if you look at this jami from the outside, which the Turks call jami because it's big, mosque they use for the small one. It's Gothic on the outside, but it doesn't have the second floor. Now, the European cathedrals, somebody will say they're different. It's because the average person has not bothered to check, what do you call it, European cathedrals. Yes, European cathedrals were modified in the 19th century. Yes, and I'm going to show an example. What they did, like Cologne Cathedral, is one of the most amazing cathedrals in Europe. Yes, and what they did in the 19th century, they built a second floor. Yes, for Cologne Cathedral. Yes, they built a second floor. I'm just going to send some construction photos. Yeah, they built the second floor. In the 1900s, they did this with most cathedrals. Almost every cathedral in Europe has been modified. Yes, I'm just sending it here so that people can see. They did not have these towers like they say. Now, my book, Jesus, Jerusalem is in Europe, goes through more details about these buildings. So what they did is they modified them. They put the second floor, then they added the towers. Yes, or the towers weren't even there. Yes, so they were exactly the same, like even Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem is Gothic. Many people don't know this. Its exterior is Gothic. I've said this in interviews with Raphael, and I've shown examples. Let's just have a look what these people can show from the Hadith books. Yeah, let's show, because from the Hadith books now, they can make calculations. Look at this. Muhammad is, I don't want to repeat these words, but keep these images. You know, these are the type of videos that are going around. Yes? Let's see what the Muslims are going to do. Yes? What are they going to do? Are they going to speak up and say, hey, look, every single manuscript, we've got to check where they came from. This is not a question of denying what Muslims call the example or the Sunnah of the Prophet. Yes? This is nothing to do with chain of transmission anymore. It's going back to the beginning now. So now let's move on. There's somebody called, I only checked him yesterday. I wasn't going to bother, but some Muslim people turned around and said to me, hey, can you check out this guy? He's called Andrew Tate. I didn't even bother to check him, didn't even want to know. Then I turned around and thought, hey, there's something strange about this guy, so I'll check him out. Yeah. Then when I started seeing it, you know, I didn't want to look at him because, you can see straight away that he's working for the people in power. Yes, he's just doing his job. Before we go on, before we get to Andrew Tate, I'll show you an example here now of the fraud and the garbage. The Birmingham Quran, the British Quran manuscript, they're going to say this is one of the oldest Qurans. And these people, you know, are online saying, hey, it's a joke. So now let's have a look at this. They're trying to show that the Birmingham Quran, yes, the central chapter that they've got is chapter 19. And then they'll say that this Birmingham Quran is incomplete. It's only got 33 verses. Excuse me, where's the rest? Yeah, so if anybody knows anything about masonry, yes, or anything, the Quran, first I'll send these things, because now they're focused on chapter 19, which Muslims call Surah Mary, or they call it Maryam or Maryam, however you want to pronounce it. So now the thing is, now the Quran in chapter 74, yes, gives a warning about the number 19. Now it gives a warning, but let me explain a little of the warning. Of course, there'll be many different reasons why there's a warning about it, many different reasons, but this is one. So now in chapter 74, it says that it talks about something that's called sakar. That's where the English word cigar came from, or cigarette, yes, or European words. Many European words came from Arabic, but people don't know. Yes, because Arabic was spoken in Europe. Yes, so it says over it is 19, and then it says it is a trial and a test. Yes, you know, and the word trial and test, there's many different Arabic words for it. But anyway, yes, so that they will know for sure what the truth is. Yeah. Well, anyway, so the thing is, it warns about the number 19, but let's go a bit deeper into the number 19. What many people don't realize. Yeah, just a little deeper before I talk about Andrew Tate, because he's totally suspicious, because I thought I'll check him out. Yes. Now, there is something known as the flower of life. Yes. The flower of life, many people don't understand it. Yes. The flower of life, it's just a symbol. It doesn't mean anything. It's just geometry. It's geography, and geography of the stars and many other things. It's decoration. You understand? Like when you see the sun, it gives light and it's a decoration. But some people worship the sun. So now the flower of life, yes, it's just a flower, and it shows the biology of nature. That's all. But some people worship the actual nature. Yes. Now the thing is, I'm not going into the worship aspect, but the flower of life has got 19 circles. Now somebody will say, I can't see the 19. So I'll make it easy for them, and I'll send them. This is in my book, The Matrix Codes. Yeah, the flower of life has got 19 circles. Yes, I've sent another page to make it clear. So now these 19 circles forms the flower of life, which is inside a flower. Now inside that flower of life, you can make the Star of David and things. And when you color the circles, you get what do you call it? 19 circles in 3 different colors, or 6, 6, and 6. Now, another thing about the flower of life, yes, I don't want people to jump to conclusions. If you want deep information, you can read my book, Matrix Codes. It's got nothing to do with the Kaabah. Yes, it's something else. I'm explaining it. So now the thing is, it forms a 3-dimensional cube inside the flower of life. Now, within that 3-dimensional cube, there's 27 circles. Yes, that you can see. But if the circles are overlapping, yeah, if you don't understand what's overlapping, I've got no time to describe it. My book, The Matrix Codes, is available. Now, in the first dimension, it's flat. There's 19. On the second dimension, when you look at this flower of life, you see 33 circles. Yes. Now in the third dimension, you see 6, 6, and 6 circles. So that's 666. It's just simple geometry and mathematics. Yes. Right. So it's just simple geometry and mathematics. Like for example, when somebody looks at the Christian cross, the basic cross is actually like this. It's got 19 straight lines within a Christian cross, and the Christian cross is supposed to be, yes, a cube when it opens. Yes, so somebody will say, hey, this is getting suspicious, but you won't understand this without reading my books. Yes, so now many people will say the cube is, of course, the Kaaba. But the Kaaba, I've explained more, it's actually pointing to the cardinal points. It's deeper, and then it actually, if you look at it from the current measurements, it's more of a tesseract. So now if it's a tesseract, it just shows advanced science, and it shows that Muslims are worshipping something that's beyond the universe or outside the universe. That is the purpose. Now, if somebody says Islam doesn't have symbols, I'm not arguing about symbols or anything. I'm saying it's like, for example, you could say Bismillah is a symbol. Your wife is a symbol. I'm not talking about worship a symbol. I'm saying the Kaaba today is seen as a symbol of Islam. Yes? Namaz, or Arabic people say Salat, they will say Salat is a symbol of Islam. Yes? So what I'm saying is, whoever built the Kaaba, one, chose the locations. I sent this information before, yes, but I'll send it again just to show that whoever did this was very smart, very clever. Now, the thing is, if Abraham, yeah, as the Muslims say, Abraham chose this location and he did it because he had a divine message to do so. The Kaaba on the outsides of all the continents, it forms the center. That's one. The Kaaba from the insides of all the continents, yes, of all in the New World, it forms the center. Now the Kaaba, yes, from the central position of the landmass of all these continents, it forms the central position. There's more actually. There's actually more. I've given a few basic things. If people want more information, there's my books, David Ewing Jr. You can find them on Google. Yes, and they talk about these things. So whoever chose this was very scientific. Now the thing is, there is nothing wrong with science. And now the thing is, so the thing is, if the Kaaba is in the shape of a box or cube, yes, it looks like the shape of a cube. Yes, it looks like it, but it's actually not. It's pointing towards the cardinal points. And an important thing about the Kaaba I didn't mention before, yes, because of its measurements. The Kaaba's measurements are 36 by 42, yes? Or some people say 35 by 41. It depends how big your feet are, yes? So it's like an irregular rectangle. It's not a cube, that's a fact. So now the thing is, if you have an irregular cube, yeah, do you know what you actually get? People will, yeah, I don't want anyone to jump to conclusions, yeah? I'm going to send a few pictures. It forms the shape of a tesseract. Yes? Now, a tesseract, yes, that's one picture of a tesseract. I'm showing another one because this one's rotating. So it shows when it rotates. Now, a tesseract, I will explain to you. A triangle, like, for example, it's Passover week in Israel at the moment. And in Israel, yes, for Passover, yeah, what they've got is they've got symbols there for you know, what the Muslims will call qurban, or sacrifice. Yes, and so yeah, they had a triangle there. Many people found it suspicious, yeah, because the triangle is a symbol of the current global world order. Yes, but anyway, the thing is, so the Muslims have got this cube-shaped thing there, and what is the meaning of it? So now the thing is, everything has a meaning, but it doesn't mean you worship the meaning. So now the thing is, the Muslims have got an advanced thing showing that when they pray, yes, when they pray towards Mecca, one, they're praying towards the central location. Two, yes, the symbolic thing of that thing is that they're showing that the prayers are going beyond the fourth dimension. The third dimension is the triangle, how we see and how we live. The fourth dimension is the cube. Beyond the fourth dimension, multi-dimensional, it means something that we don't understand. Yes? So the purpose of praying towards there, and it's symbolic. It doesn't mean anything, it's just symbolic. Yes? So the purpose of that is just, you know, it just shows advanced science and advanced mathematics. That's all it shows. Nobody's saying worship it. There is nothing wrong with Muslims having these symbols. So I mentioned last time about the moon at Mecca. Now there is more. Yes? There is more about the symbol. Yes? Now many people, yes, are going to say, what do you call it? Yes, the moon actually looks like Satan. Yes, Satan's got two horns. Yeah? Okay, now I'm just going to go through this to actually explain something in more detail. Yeah? so that then people will have just basic knowledge. Yes. So now the thing is, I'm just going to Google Images, and I'm going to send you how Satan is portrayed by people around the world. Yes. Everybody imagines Satan has got 2 horns. Yes. This is just a common imagination. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So you've heard of Michelangelo? Yes.
Of course, yeah. Da Vinci.
Yeah. Who is he?
Famous painter.
Yeah.
Sculptor.
From the Renaissance, sculpture, painter, things like this. Now, an important thing is, they made him famous. If you go to somewhere like, let's say, to the deserts of Arabia, where people didn't go to a school where they teach Western things, they've never heard of Michelangelo. Have they? No.
Probably.
So now, why are they advertising Michelangelo? Why do you think that is?
Because I've gone so much into golden ratio, they're saying that he's the one that actually came up with this golden ratio. He found it, even though it says in the literature that he got it from an Arab.
He got what?
He got the golden ratio, like the whole sequence.
No, forget all that. Yeah, I'm talking about horns. I will tell you why they're advertising it. Yeah, because many people don't bother reading the golden ratio. They look at Michelangelo's art. Yeah, so what Michelangelo did, yes, he showed Moses with horns on his head, or similar to Satan. Now, the Arabic word for horns, yes, people will have to read my book on this. Yes, so now he's got horns on his head, and then the thing is, in medieval times, the Mohammedans or the Muslims were called Huns. Yes, for some reason. Yeah, Huns, horns, because the Vikings, yes, actually had horns on their head. So now let me show you. People can check this themselves. I've not made this up. Yes, Attila the Hun, yes, leader of the barbarians. Now the thing is, if the Muslims don't do anything right now, I will be honest with you, I was surprised when I spoke about Attila the Hun. At that time, I did it last year, more than 200-300 people just from Hungary added me on, and they were surprised, yes, that Islam mentions Attila the Hun. And then they went to read the Quran. They were surprised. But let's have a look. Yes, the Vatican and and their allies. Who was Attila the Hun to them? Or the Huns with the horns? Yes, they were seen as the Muslim danger. Michelangelo, Moses, and the horns. Yes, and for example, there's Nicola de Castello's work, La Guerra d'Attila, La Guerra, the War of Attila, and he shows the Huns and their kings, they're dog-headed Muslims, dog moral Muslims. And Attila the Hun, he was not just Hungarian. His army was all the Germans, all the Vikings. Yes, and they always show that the Vatican was at war, yes, of the Mohammedan Huns. Oh, Mohammedans? Muslims. Yes, so the name Germany was invented. Like, for example, they created the name Palestine because if anybody reads the Bible, then the Philistines are seen as the enemy of God. So now, even the Muslims have turned around and said, these are the Philistines, Palestinians. Yes, because now the entire Christian world is going to think, hey, they are the Palestinians, Philistinians in the Bible. So let's have a look at Germany. So now Germany, even in the 20th century, in World War I and World War II, they were known as Huns. The Germans were called Huns, and the fake name called Germany was invented, by the Vatican. Around they'll say it's older, but around the Renaissance, 16th century. So it seemed like, let's say the country called Turkey. I'm going to call it Atlantia, and then in 100 years' time, you go to Turkey and say, well, what's your nationality? He'll say, I'm Atlantean. And then you say, what do you think of the Turks? And they say, they were barbarians, monsters. That's what's become to the German people. They've lost their origin and their ancestry. They don't even know who they are anymore. Yes, Germanic people are Anglo-Saxons, Dutch, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and all these countries. Yes, so now these people, so let's just have a look at the Vikings. Yes, and now the Vikings, yes, when people look at the mosque and the domes, there's more reasons to this Islamic art. They opened these fake Islamic art museums, everything, and they modified it. So the Vikings had horns, and the word horn is dul karnain, karn. So now, if anybody reads the Bible, before we go to the Bible, the word Qarn and Quran is similar. It's not the same, but it's similar. So now the same like the word hello and Allah and Allah is similar, but it's not the same. So now the Vikings had horns. So now when the Muslims had a moon or a star, yes, it was linked to the astrolabe. But then there was specifically the horns. Now the thing is, the horns, yes, were supposed to represent, yes, the war against the Vatican. Yes, and that's why Muslims also used to carry these horns. And many of them, even in their battlefields, used to just wear it on the helmet as a symbol. Yes. So now the thing is, what do you call it? Yes. What do you call it? It's like if you went to Egypt, they're going to say this land is not called Egypt. We were given this name. It's actually called, Mizraim or Misr. Yes. Mm-hmm. Damascus, they'll say this city is called Shams. It was the foreigners who came and they called it Damascus. Yes. Yeah. There is no such place called Damascus. Yes. They invented this. No, there was in ancient times, but somewhere else. Yes. Mm-hmm. Somewhere else. So now the Europeans invented this name. Let me just send evidence, or somebody's going to say, what's he talking about? Yeah. So now the thing is, Asham is the Arabic Turkish name and local name. It's called Sham. So the Europeans invented it. Like, for example, they are going to say there is a city called Hebron in the Middle East. Yes, there is no such city called Hebron in the Middle East. What they did was they went there and they told the Muslims, hey, we're going to kill you. We've just killed a few people. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we'll take a few more if you don't listen to us. Yeah. So what they did is they changed the name places. But now the Muslims have in the last 30, 40 years in Palestine, they woke up and they've started refusing to use these names. Like, for example, Hebron is called Khalil. Yes. And they changed the name Halil in Turkish, Khalil in Arabic. So they've given these places a fake history. So in the same way, there is no place called Germany. Yes, they invented this name. They invented this name. Yes. Now, the thing is, for example, the Vatican wears a mosque hat. So the Jews wear a synagogue kippah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Does that mean the Vatican is Muslim? Now, if the devil does have horn, let's say he does, yeah, that doesn't mean it's anything to do with the devil. So the thing is, yes, there were several reasons. Yes. What do you call it? Yes, because there's different designs of the moon symbol on top of the mosques. Now, in Mecca, it's specifically like that, like on the Viking horn. Yes? Mm-hmm. So the word horn, it's like that. And so the thing is, why did they put this for Moses? Yeah? They didn't do this for a joke for Moses. Yes, I'm putting the horns on his head. This is in my books, what do you call it? Yes? That according to the Bible, yes, it turned around and says that Moses came with a book called the Quran. Yes. So now what they have done is they've translated that word to actually mean horn. Yes, horns. That Moses came with horns on his head, or he came with light rays shining from his head. Yes. But the biblical word Quran, yeah, also says Quran, but they've just invented the translation. And let me see if I can find it right now. Well, anyway, here is the book of Exodus, yes, in the Bible. And what does the book of Exodus show? The book of Exodus, yes, they've translated the word as something else. There's no vowels in this. There is no vowels in these manuscripts. They're claiming the manuscripts are old, but because Hebrew is a modern invention, this means the manuscripts are not more than 300-400 years old. There is no evidence that these biblical manuscripts are more than 300-400 years old for the Old Testament. Anyway, it says when Moses came, he came with the Quran in his head or on his face in this Hebrew Old Testament. They wrote it with the letter A. You could write it with the letter O, as you wish. So now the word Quran basically means, yes, it's in my book. It really simply means Akura Bismika. He came with a recital or a reading. That's all it means. Yes? Mm-hmm. So Moses came with a recital or a book. What is this? Oh. Now, here is what they call Sunan Abu Dawud. Yes? Sunan Abu David. Yes? It says here, Hadith 2386. Yeah? And while he was fasting. Yeah, so now let's go to Sahih Muslim Book 8, Hadith 3310. Yeah? Yes? So now the Muslims have to say, this is not Muslim history. These books were placed by the Europeans. Yes? Here it's Sahih Bukhari, Volume 1, I don't know what it is. Oh, look at this. This is Hadith 2408. I don't know what is the difference. Sahih. Oh, this is Sahih. Is this actually the original books? Or is it true that these Europeans went there, they attacked people, and they tortured people, and they changed the books? What do you think it is now? If all this time the Muslims had no answers, now the Muslims have an answer. The Muslims have got to speak up. Let me just show an example of what the British and the French were doing in Damascus, in Baghdad, and things like this. Yeah, and this is how they were treating people. Yeah, you know, searching them for books and other things. Many people ran away. They were torturing people. Yeah, this is a picture that they took to show they were nice people. It was nothing to do with nice. This is something that they kept just to show history. We weren't so bad. Yeah, you know, these people who were there, you know, many of them, they executed, they burned their houses, they raped the women, you know, things like that. That's all they did. So now the thing is, the Muslims have got to turn around and say, so these people now have replaced these books. Yeah, they set up these museums, and what are written in these books? Now, I'd like to ask you, yes, once again, to see, are these, does it look like these are originally Islamic books, or they've been put there?
They've been put there.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the Quran manuscripts I even showed you last time, they were playing around with the manuscripts. Yes, it's only because the Muslims memorized the Quran. That's why it's about, look at this. Yeah, it turns around and says, let's have a look at what there's these strange things. These are similarly in the Talmud. The Prophet said you can't drink from green cups and you cannot drink from white cups. If there's any white cups in your house, throw them out right now. You understand? And if you think these people have not played with it, yeah, let me just show you, you know, American presidents, American masonries. Let's see this now. In their shrines of Malaika. In their shrines, yes, this one is for the Masonic Shrine of Arabia. This one is for the Masonic Shrine of Islam, of what they do. Yes, how they play around. Yes, you understand? Yeah. So there's many things. You won't understand these things. It's to do with the Zohar or the Kabbalah or what Muslims call magic. You understand? Yes. So there's many things that these people are playing. Like, let me just show you, what do you call it? Yes. The Masonic Islamic shrines and the Masonic Allah shrines. Yes. Here they are in the United States, in their temples. Yes. With the pyramid and the moon. So now, if they want to do pyramid worship or moon worship, or what they want to do is the worship of mathematics or the worship of created things, Islam is supposed to be opposite this. So now the thing is, yes, same like they have the somebody will turn and say, hey, this is suspicious. What the hell is going on? I don't seem to understand. Yes. Now the thing is, Muslims, I'll just make it easy for you, because the Muslims will say, these people put the manuscripts there, these people are celebrating, you know, Islam, what the hell is going on here? Yes. So the thing is, these people, they celebrate Jesus Christ. Yes. They celebrate the prophets of God. But the thing is, yeah, they love Jesus Christ so much that his decoration is everywhere. Yeah. So does this mean that Islam is a lie because Islam has Jesus Christ?
No.
That is the Jesus Christ that they've got. So the Jesus Christ that you've got, is it the same one or is it different? It's different.
He was not crucified.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. It's not about crucifixion. I'm showing about the blood, everything, the full symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now there is a big difference. It shows that Islam is it's like somebody could eat the same food like you do. Yes, but that doesn't mean they're doing the same thing as you. Somebody can use the same toilet as you. Somebody can use the same hotel as you. So now the Jesus of Islam is like this. There's no images of Jesus. It's just history.
Mm-hmm.
It's just history. Well, anyway, the thing is, Jesus Christ in Islam, yes, is just simple. That there's no images. You don't know anything. But their Jesus and your Jesus is different. It's a totally different thing. So now they have Islam too. You understand? It's hard to believe. Yes, but I've shown you. They've got Islam. They've got their Islamic temples, everything else. But their Islam is something else. That's they've got Salah-ud-Din, and so they've invented the history of Salah-ud-Din. Yes, these are in their Masonic temples. An example of their Masonic mosques. Here's the mosque of Al-Ums, and notice the date, May the 19th, 1930. So now I showed 19 and 666, and before we finish, let us finish. I will talk about this Andrew Tate now. Yes, right. He's supposed to be a great guy, many Muslims say, but let's just show who Andrew Tate is. Yeah. Now here is stories according to, because the people who are managing him are advertising him. Yes. So now Andrew Tate, he's got a snake tattoo. Why does he have a snake tattoo? He says, I'm fighting against the snake. Yeah, so he's got a snake tattoo on his body. Yes, and the snake is supposed to represent Satan. Now let's see why he says he's got the snake. Now he says he has a snake tattoo. Now let's have a look at this and let's see if anybody's got a brain. Yes? Yeah, Andrew Tate has got a snake tattoo because he says he is fighting against the devil. Yes? Yeah?
Yeah.
Devil's face and the snake. He says he's fighting against the devil. So he's saying the reason why he's got it, or the media is saying he's got this because he's fighting against the devil. Oh, that's a great guy. He's fighting against the devil, that he's even put the devil's tattoo all over his body. So now I just want to ask somebody with a brain. Yes? We see neo-Nazis, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Neo-Nazis, yes? Who've tattooed a swastika on their body. Yes, I'm sending an example here, yes? Did they put this tattoo? Yes, have you received it?
Yeah.
Swastika tattoo?
Yeah.
Did they put this swastika tattoo because they're fighting against Nazism or because they love Nazism?
Clearly, obviously, they love them.
They love Nazism. So Andrew Tate saying, I put something here because I hate it. And people believe it.
Yeah, it's like you're going to fight against the Nazis and then you're going to tattoo yourself with a Nazi symbol. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes. So no, it means it's a lie.
Exactly.
So now let's have a look at this guy. I saw this video yesterday. He's just an actor. He's working for the people in power. He's turned around and said, you don't insult my religion. Now the Muslims are talking about him. Now the world is laughing. Yeah, so now Andrew Tate is 188 centimeters. The media normally, it will produce the correct information unless if it has a reason. For no reason, they're publishing that he's 190 centimeters tall. The media is advertising that Andrew Tate, supports true Islam, and he's saying support ISIS, chop heads, kill people, blah, blah, blah. And now there's other videos who are, another video says, hey, why don't you blow yourself up, man? Because they're trying to show that this is what Islam is about. Blow yourself up, man. And then Andrew Tate says, if you insult me, you're insulting all Islam, because he wants to bring Islam and connect it to blowing itself up. Now let's keep going through Andrew Tate, and let's see if he's genuinely supposedly a convert or something. Headlines. Andrew Tate, yes? He's playing around in Romania. And the newspapers, for no reason, they tell you Romania's got 19 million people. Why don't they say, the US president is meeting the Japanese president, Japan has got this many people. They pointed out that there's 19 million people in Romania. So now let's have a look at Andrew Tate, what's going on. Yes, I only checked this today. Yes, and it turned around and says he was banned by Facebook and by Instagram on 19th of August last year. Yeah. So now Andrew Tate opened his own bank accounts, nobody else. So whoever he's working for, Andrew Tate, yes, it was headline news. I'm not talking about the small news. The big news the media advertises, yes, he's got these big bank accounts in 19 countries. Yeah. So now let's see, Andrew Tate, yeah, even if he says 18, 19-year-olds, the media is advertising and focusing on the number 19. He says 19-year-old girls. You understand? So as we're beginning to see, there is a pattern here. This can be no coincidence. Yes. So they're showing these things. Let me just show. Yeah, there is. He said 18, 19-year-olds, but they're focusing on 19. Like here, you can see Marie Claire magazine. It's 18 and 19, but they will focus on the 19. Yes. So now Andrew Tate, he himself. Yes. Now you will say, this is the media. It's not him. Okay, let's see him. For front page news, he makes the announcement. 19th of August, he declares to the world on 19th of August, he says, I get 10,000 death threats a day. You know, because he says, hey, they're going to shoot me, they're going to kill me, because these things he's going to try and connect it to Islam. They killed me because you know, I'm into young women. So now let's have a look at more about Andrew Tate. So now they're advertising that Andrew Tate and some other garbage called Greta Thunberg. To me, that person's garbage. Yes. What do you call it? Saying Andrew Tate was boasting about his 33 cars. 33 is actually 19 in the second dimension. And he's writing to Greta Thunberg. And the media, for no reason, they don't write, he's writing to Greta Thunberg. He's writing to the 19-year-old. You see? That's what they're publicizing it as. Do you see these things? Yes? So now, the thing is, they are trying to show that this man is a Muslim, then they can embarrass Islam with this, and then they can bring it out saying, hey, it's not his fault. He's just following Islam. It was the Europeans who worked with the Vatican, who came to your Muslim lands. They burnt Quran manuscripts, and they confiscated Hadith manuscripts and burnt them. They killed imams, and they put their fake imams in power. They put these books in the museums. They put these manuscripts there. Now, if you're going to turn to me and say, oh no, there is one book here they didn't touch. Prove it. They killed millions of people just so that they could enter Muslim territory. Yes. They did this in Fez, in Morocco, in Zitouna Madrasa in Tunis. I know these things because I checked the history of all these places. Because now the Muslims can go out there, they can do this and say, hey, this manuscript is not ours. It was your countries. You invaded Iraq. You invaded Syria. You invaded Libya. You invaded Somalia. You invaded India. You invaded Bangladesh. You invaded Pakistan. You invaded Uzbekistan. You invaded Turkmenistan. You invaded Chechnya. You invaded Dagestan. You controlled all the administration buildings. You had your security guards outside. You changed and modified everything in the museums. You had your experts and all these people checking through everything. And now you are telling the Muslims that these things are inside the books. They've changed everything. The Muslims have to wake up. But now I've got the evidence because these books are fake. The manuscripts are all fake. Yes, so now the Muslims are going to have to speak up. Yes, and Muhammad's in the Bible and say, look, how can the Bible be older than the Quran if it's describing events in the Middle Ages and the Mohammedans and other things? I showed this. It's in my books as well. So now the Muslims, you've got the information, use it. Yeah. Now these books, there is no evidence that these are Islamic books. Yeah. The Pope put them there. The British put them there and the French put them there. Now if somebody's saying David's making it up, I've shown you the evidence. Oh, prove it. Doesn't it say in Islam? It says, show your proof if you're speaking the truth. In old translation, produceth thy proof if thou speaketh the truth, or Yusuf Ali's translation, produce your proof if you speak the truth. Yeah, I've shown evidence. These people invaded. Go and ask your grandparents and say, do you remember what happened when the British came here? Or when the French came here? Or when the Italians came here? Yeah, what was going on? What did the Spanish do? Yeah, everyone will say, they were chopping heads. Yeah, they were living inside these museums, inside these, they used to call it like their palaces. Yeah? Now suddenly, after they stayed in these buildings for 50 years or 100 years, they've gone out and now the Muslims say, we just found Imam Bukhari here. The British left this behind after 50 years, and the French. They didn't change anything. They were so kind. Wake up. Okay? Let's leave it at that, Imran.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks, David.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, bye.